Mother, mother, there's too many of you crying. Ha. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying.
All right, guys, as China feels the impact of a surge in infections from this new respiratory virus, many are asking, are we heading into another pandemic? So joining us this morning to shed some light on this issue is Medical Association of Jamaica's president, Dr. Leslie Mead. Good morning to you, Doc.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm okay, Doc. A little terrified and a little anxious, having seen the images and videos coming out of China and the conversations in different parts of the world. The big question, Doc, are we heading down the road of another pandemic?
I don't think there is, at this time, there should be some concern about a pandemic. While we are having a fairly new virus circulating, it has been around for about
I think we're going to have to try
20 years or so.
To reconnect with Doc, but from what we're understanding, there is a surge in infections of a new respiratory virus in China, which is apparently leading to reports of overcrowded hospitals there. Hi, Doc. You're back with us?
I can hardly hear you.
All right. Are you hearing me clearly now? Let me speak a little more loudly. Yes? Doc, you there?
Hello?
Can you hear me, Doc?
Very faintly, but can you start again, please?
All right. I'm trying to project my voice so you can hear me a little more clearly until we can sort what we're sorting. You had started by saying you don't think there's concern for a pandemic yet. Can you pick up where we lost you?
Right. So the human metapneumovirus has been around from about 2001, and it is similar to the respiratory syncytial virus. And it tends to circulate at around these times of the year, during the winter months, when you have persons in pretty close proximity to each other. The cold and flu season. And the COVID-19 caused a pandemic because it was new. No one had any immunity against the COVID-19, and so it was able to spread throughout the world. This is different. The HMP have been around about 23 years now. And we find that many persons, not just in China, but in Europe and the USA, have been exposed to this virus. And so there is some amount of natural immunity. And so we should not find that we will have a pandemic outbreak, all being equal.
So this is a human metapneumovirus, HMPV. We're reading here that it causes symptoms similar to the common cold and the flu. While it is typically mild, though it can lead to severe complications like pneumonia. And it affects particularly the younger folks, Doc. Can you expound on that a little bit for us?
Yes, so what we find is that those whose immune system may not have developed as well, so in our young persons, our elderly whose immune system may be compromised, and those who may have some form of illness that affects their immunity, we then tend to have more severe progression of the disease process because your own body immune system cannot respond adequately to manage the infection. And so while the vast majority of persons may have mild symptoms, regular flu-like symptoms, you will have those persons who are compromised, may progress to having bronchitis or may have pneumonia, which may affect their oxygenation and they may have to be hospitalized. Gotcha. And sadly, a few may also die from the disease. But for the vast majority of us, we should have fairly regular viral type symptoms, which can be managed symptomatically with treatment, whether for fever, whether for the pain, use your antihistamine for your congestion, that sort of thing.
Yeah, Doc, I was about to ask you about that, about the medication. And are there any vaccines as well that can be taken to help to, either safeguard or recover from this?
Right. No, there are no vaccines available for the HMPV. There's also no specific antiviral medication to treat it. We tend to treat these patients symptomatically. So as I said before, if you have a particular issue, whether it's congestion, we treat you with your antihistamine. If you have, if you become dehydrated because you're not eating and drinking, we may have to give you intravenous fluids. If you have a fever, we give you Panadol or paracetamol and deal with those symptoms as they arise. But just like many viruses, it should be self-limiting. It should stop after a period of time. Once you rest, rehydrate, and take the necessary medication.
Doc, they like to say that if foreign sneeze, we catch cold, right? So HMPV, should we be looking to see it manifest here in Jamaica? And I also want to ask you...
Can you repeat?
Yes, I was asking... No, I'm saying because of our proximity and the frequency of interaction and travel between North America and Jamaica, and say if foreign sneeze, Jamaica catch cold. So I'm asking if we should be on the lookout for HMPV. Is it inevitable that it's going to land on our shores?
Certainly. We must be doing our surveillance in terms of all respiratory infections, particularly those that can develop and become severe. We have persons who are traveling all over the world. And so I would tell you, it is likely that we may have had a few persons who have HMPV here in Jamaica.
Already?
However, we are not, as far as I'm aware, testing specifically for HMPV. In more developed countries, we know that there are kits particularly used in persons who are hospitalized to try and differentiate what is this disease. Is it COVID? Is it respiratory syncytial virus? Is it the influenza? Is it HMPV? And so you can tailor your management to those persons. But outside of that, most viral illnesses are treated more or less the same way.
Right.
Where we treat you based on the symptoms. And so, by and large, we will not have a lot of these kits available that you can use to specifically say which of these viruses is circulating. But I would not be surprised. I think about 7% of the screening that is done in the U.S. in terms of respiratory viruses is HMPV, and Jamaicans travel back and forth very often. And so it is likely that it has already been or has arrived into Jamaica and has been circulating. It has been around for a long time, as I said, for about 23 years.
Should we be on the lookout, or should I ask what is our stance as it regards bird flu? Should we be scared?
Go again, please.
The bird flu.
H1N1.
What's our positioning on that? Are we on the lookout? Are we readying? Should we be concerned?
Right. So we have the Ministry of Health does surveillances of those viruses, and I know that we had, I think, influenza A and B circulating in Jamaica, and if it is that any other such viruses come in, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is ready, and they have been doing their surveillance so that they can act accordingly. And similarly, we should also look at whether or not we should be also screening actively for the HMPV as well, so that we can be clear what exactly is circulating within our environment.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doc.
Appreciate that
Thank you.
update. My goodness. All right, folks. Wear your mask, sanitize, keep as safe as you can because there are a lot of things out there. Medical Association of Jamaica President, Dr. Leslie Mead with us this morning. Coming up next,
it's our therapy in session with licensed associate clinical psychologist Sonia Winter. Stay with us.